Welcome, everybody. I welcome each and every one of you this morning to my YouTube. But I was thinking about this as harvest time. This is the time of year. Frost is going to be and snow is coming, and it's time to butcher. And we always killed one big hog every year and had fresh meat right on the farm. But this is the day of harvest. There are seasons, in life, and this is November. Wow, I almost lose track of time. Sunday the 9th, 2025. Time goes on for us that are still here, and we're still here, feeling good. Went walking at the Y, and it wasn't so hard this morning. My strength is coming back. Ecclesiastes 3 1 and 2. And this has always been a verse that I have spoke on before in the past. And of course, it's in the Bible. To everything, there is a season. And we all have seasons in life, and it keeps changing. And the thing of it is, you have to just adjust to your season because everybody has different seasons. Anyway, this morning when I was at the Y walking, this little man that always says hello to me and how are you doing? He says, I noticed you're walking with a walker. He says, and you can't hold your phone up and see it and hear it. I says, I don't need to. I said, I just listen to it and I can listen through my hearing aids. Terrific. I said, whenever and wherever I'm at, I adjust and I am perfectly content to listen to someone talk and tell me. And this morning, I'll finish this in a minute because God's word is so important. Let me finish it first, and then I'll tell you what I was doing. But anyhow, to everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold, heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease. You will keep the feast of the harvest, of the first fruits of your labor, of what you sow is in the field. So I'm in a different season, and all of y'all are in your own season. And my season is, I'm really enjoying it. So this little guy, he always has to tap me on the shoulder and say hello. That boy, bless his heart, come along with so many negative thoughts in no time short. He said, you can't look at it. I said, I don't need, I'm listening. And I'm perfectly content to listen. And I was listening to a woman in Ireland tell Irish folk tales. And it was so fascinating. And I may tell it to you sometime because I listened to it. And she's on YouTube and she's got thousands of subscribers. And she told about the story. And it was so good. And I may listen to it again and just tell it to you my way because it was so good about how they, these, this couple, the husband discovered a mirror. It was interesting. So anyway, this is the time of year that Daddy and all of us, this was hog killing season. And we did it every year. And Mom would have all the pots ready to boil because and to clean the intestines because he would take out all the intestines in a big pot and take them up to Mom. And she would clean the intestines. And, we had chitlins. That's what that's called. You can research that. They're delicious if you do them right. James said one time he was somewhere and they were cooking chitlins, and the odor is awful. But if you're hungry, chitlins are. We loved our chitlins, and they are nasty to clean. You have to take the lining out of the. Back to hog killing. Daddy would go to the field and kill the one he had picked, and then he would take the truck and drag it down to where we're going to hang it up. They would have a big pot ready, cooking, fire burning all night long, water scalding hot. And they would have a thing that they could haul it up on this tall thing and let it hang head down. And of course, they gutted it and all the guts, but they dropped that hog into that boiling water and left it a while. And what happens then, all the hairs get, so you can scrape them right off. Well, one of my jobs was to help scrape. You got a big knife, you scrape, scrape, scrape all the hairs off. Of course, the belly's already cut, and Daddy gets the bladder out, and he cleans it and he passes it to Norman. Now we always like to get the bladder, and Norman would blow it up, and we would have a bowl. We played with it. We could bounce it around. We made a game of it. So they would cut off the. Once you get all the hair off, then they would cut it in slabs. They had it on a big table, and to shave it down. And he would cut it. Now the back and the sides is called fat back on the back, and that is your fat back. And on the head, you cut the jaws off, cut the head up, and Mom would take parts of that head and cook it, and she would make something that we could eat out of it. And hog jaws is called joels, and she would season them, and Daddy would take 2 hams and he would treat them with he would either sugar treat them or salt treat them. Now the sugar treated ones were good, but I think the salt treated ones, and he would pump. He had a pump. He could shoot the stuff into that ham, and then we'd take it to the smokehouse and hang it and leave it hang. And then we cut up the fat back and stuff and put it in hot grease uh, and cooked it. And then that's called cracklings. And I loved cracklings. We would take those cracklings, those pieces. Well, you know what cracklings is. You can buy them at the store. Ours was a lot better. But Mom would we'd have a whole box of them, and in a wooden box, and we'd put them in the smokehouse and try to put a lid on them. You could not keep the mice out of them. But I remember when I was a little girl and I would get hungry, I would go to the smokehouse in the spring and in the summer and get me a handful of cracklings and bring them in and eat them as I was laying in bed, because I I would get hungry. Sometimes supper wasn't satisfying. Of course, Mom cooked a big pot of soup, beans, or potatoes or something every day. She put it on the cold stove. It was a wood stove. Really, you had to feed wood to it. And Norman and Tommy and David had to get the wood in and set it by the fireplace so that we would have wood, so Mom could cook all day long. And that's what she'd do. She'd put them beans on early in the morning, put a piece of jewel bacon or some ham in it, and cook it. And Daddy always, he has always, we had big crocks that we put in the basement, and he put briny pickles. You take small cucumbers and put them in salt water and let them soak, and they're pickles that are brined, and you would eat them with your soup, beans, and cornbread, and that was a meal. I still like a meal like that: soup, beans, and cornbread with a briny pickle. You can buy them at the store. They're pretty good, and they don't last too long around my house. I gotta cook me some soup beans. Just talking about them making me hungry. I haven't. I bought a sack the other day where 15 bean soup, and I've been planning on cooking them. But I'm staying at James's house today, and they're over at my house, so I'm not doing that today. And it is Sunday. I'm going to watch. I'm going to stream in a minute. They start in about another. It's only 9 o'clock here. They don't even start till about 9:30, I think. Well, I'll get them because they're on YouTube, and the pastor's wife. Now, well, we've got the hog killed and it's all taken care of. So now let me tell you what's going on in our life. This is table talk. So get your coffee, sit down, and let me tell you what's going on. So the pastor's wife called me the other day. Well, she texted me. That's what the young people do. And she's young. She's only like 48, 49. Her kids are all grown and she's got grandkids now. Fact is, they had a little boy that was born that weighed like 17 ounces or something. And the doctor says he's not going to make it. But you know what? Through prayer and everything, that young man is now about 20 years old. Now, he's not a real big guy, but he's very sweet. And he has a YouTube channel somewhere too and talks about Jesus all the time. I got to find out what it is. I was going to ask her and forgot it. I stay busy with my creator friends on YouTube because I got 967 Andy, check him out. He's a fisherman. He stood up at our wedding, and I just love him. And he's got me all over his YouTube, and I've been aiming to put some of him on mine, but fishing don't turn me on. But I watch him sometimes sit there on the bank, smoking his cigar, and in his chair, and with his rods out, and sometimes he catches a fish, and he'll do that for hours. And there's a lot of people that watch him. He does a lot of other things. So he's got cooking, he's building a house, and it's going to get done. Now that's what I'm really interested in, that I watch on Andy 967. Check him out. And I did do that TikTok shout out for some of my buddies. I got her done. I hope y'all get more subscriptions. Debbie and Cynthia and Pat and Andy. I don't know if I remembered Andy or not. I don't know. I just have to laugh at myself because, my memory ain't what she used to be. Oh, yeah, where was I? I say that all the time. And sometimes I don't remember, and sometimes I do. Debbie, you can't beat a good cup of coffee from McDonald's. Just can't. Me and James agree on that. And since I'm back on caffeine, I'm as perky as they come. Somebody said, "I'd like to be like you, so perky." That's always been my personality. I'm just that way. If I go into a crowd, and guess what? I don't know what I was talking about, but I do want to tell you about this. Kimberly, the baby daughter, called me the other day, and I'm getting tired of crowds and stuff, too many people. But just her and her husband and her two daughters and their partners, well, Melissa's husband, just a few. She's gonna have Thanksgiving here at this house where I'm at right now. I'm at James's house, but it's our house really. So anyway, she says, "Mom, I am bringing Thanksgiving dinner the Saturday before Thanksgiving, and we're going to celebrate Thanksgiving together." I said, "Kim, that is so sweet. Praise the Lord. I'm looking forward to that." So I don't have to do anything except, she's going to do it all except straighten off the table so she can get to it. Because James has got our dining room table packed with his stuff. He has an office in the back room. I let him have the bedroom. We took our spare bedroom. I feel like, have I got another hair growing out of my lip? That happened, and I told y'all about it. Jerk them out. Nope, don't have one. So anyway, I told him, I said, "James, you can have half of that and make an office." And he did that. And where does he really make his office? Right here in the dining room. No, did my rings bang, bang, bang. Right here in the living room is over there. And our big TV is over in the other room, over that way, and over this way. Well, I don't know if you see that or not. Is a table, and he's got books and papers and tablets. It's overwhelming. But that's my sweet James, sweet old number 3. He's the one that named himself number 3. I did not do that. He did it. So it's okay. We call him number 3. 1, 2, 3. So, okay, now where was I? My mind flies around. They told on this medicine I'm taking, it said it can cause your mind to go kind of funny at times. And I think that's what's happening, because I think that's how I lost that key that we can't find, because I must have took it and put it in a safe place somewhere, and it's very safe. So guess what? Papa Lop is coming tomorrow and make us that key that I lost. And so, and like I told you, I made friends with the Papa Lock man. His name is Cameron. And I got to tell him I'm on YouTube and tell him he's famous now, because I canceled him a couple of times because James says I just don't want to pay quite that much and all that stuff. I mean, why save it? Are you going to take it with you in the grave? No. So I told him I'm going to go ahead and get it. I mean, I have YouTube money. I have more than YouTube. I get my Social Security. I get my rent. Honey, where do I spend it? I'm buying a Papa Lock key from Cameron and happy to do it. I am. So it don't bother me that I am not as tight as I used to be. I was thinking when I went shopping the other day, I needed some things that I wanted to put pencils and different things in. Some of the little crock like dishes that you can just. Of course, I've got Granny Pants cup, Chit Chat Granny Pat cup is a really wonderful pen holder. It's too heavy for coffee. I like a lightweight coffee holder. And here at the house, I have a coffee cup I really love, and it's plastic, and it don't weigh anything hardly. And I have one just like it at my house, and it's thin, and it cost a pretty good penny. But I was shopping, and I says, "Well, why do you even have to look at the prices?" I have a friend named Flory who lived next door to us, and I asked her. I said, "Flory, how much did it cost? You bought that whatever food?" She said, "I don't know. I never look at the prices." Guess who else has quit looking at the prices? When I go grocery shopping, I just get what I want. And if James don't like it, he can just lump it. But he likes it. Well, the good thing he likes it. He said, "Oh, you bought me this, you bought me that." He likes those Jello cups that Walmart has that's got different flavors Jello in it. And I just want food with making Jello, and I want food with making pudding. So I buy those cups, and he uses them for a snack, and they're not too sweet. And I buy that rice pudding that they have at the Walmart. Comes in a pack of 12, and I like that, and he likes that. I don't look at the price. I just load it in my cart. And so the other day, I had not been grocery shopping since I had been, down and out for a little while. But I just, but I'm well. So anyway, I said, "You're going to have to take me though, and just get me to a cart, and I can do it, and you can wait wherever you want to. Go look around." I don't want him on my heels while I'm grocery shopping. I want to get what I want. Stay out of my way. Stay out of my way. He said, "You don't want me?" I said, "No, I don't." Because you know what he does? He picks out, "Oh, here, we need this." No, James, that's not on my schedule. I have my own schedule. I said, "You're a carpenter on houses and you do what you want to do." I'm a housewife and a homemaker, and I do want to do what I want. I am the boss on this. You're the boss on the other. But on groceries and stuff and what I'm going to cook, I'm the boss. Now he can tell me what he likes, and I won't cook what he don't like. Sometimes I do, and we eat it anyway. But the chili turned out good. So when we went, we got cat food, kitty litter, groceries galore, $155. And he said, "Do you do this all the time?" Because he gives me a good allowance. And I said, "No, that's the most I have ever spent one time at the Walmart." And it took me about 40 minutes I did a lot of walking. I got some walking in that. I said, "Take me to Walmart, get me to a cart." And there was a cart parked right where he could pull up and I could get out and get a cart and push it all around because I could walk with a cart, just like I can Freedom, my walker, my rollator. So I got it all. And then I said, "Now the best thing to do is separate it when we to take what goes to my house and what goes to your house, because I always do that. And it's about 2 miles from where I live to go to his house." I said, "That's not far." So we just divided everything and we put it where it goes. And it was a very successful day. And I was tickled. But I said, the most I have ever spent usually is, like $70, $80 for just the two of us. So, but boy, we went whole hog. Well, I'm going to let y'all go. It's just about time for me to watch Brother Dr. Carmichael. He got his doctorate. I know what I was going to tell you. When his sweet wife called me and said, "Is there anything we could do for you all?" And she said, "Can I?" And I told her I'd been real sick and they didn't know because, I anoint myself with oil and pray for myself and the Lord heals me. Anoint yourself and ask God to heal you. So I told her, I said, "Well, no, not really, except one thing." She said, "Well, what is it?" I said, "Put closed captioning back on." And she's co pastor. They say Pastor John and Aaron. And she says, "I can take care of that right now. Did they take that off again?" I said, "Yes, because, I really like closed captioning. because my hearing aids are good, but they don't always catch everything. And sometimes the people don't hold them. She said, I'm texting them. She can be a boss too, to take care of that right now. So I'm going to find out in a few minutes if she got her done. If not, I've got her phone number and I'm going to call her and sweetly ask her to retext. You do things nicely. We're Christian people, and we love one another and we kind to one another. Like Debbie, Kentucky Life with Debbie says, let's be kind to one another. But she was so sweet. And she said before we hung up, she said, well, first thing, when she found out I'd been, could I pray for you now? And I said, yes, you may. I take all the prayer I can get. So I put her on speakerphone and she prayed for me and James. And it was you could feel the spirit of God right there. The old time days, they just prayed like that wherever they were, and I still do that. So anyhow, she prayed for us, and I really appreciated it. And then she said, "Let us bring you a meal one night this week, Pastor and I." I said, "No, that's very kind of you, but I can handle that. I can handle my own meals, thank you." I said, James, can you believe they offered to bring us a meal? I think he wished I had said yes, bring it on. Didn't happen. No, I don't. I didn't want to do that. I mean, she's got enough on her hands pastoring that church without her fixing a meal or picking it up somewhere and bringing it to us, because we would have took anything. But we can do that ourselves. The fact is, I may have James go get us a dinner today, because I can call up and order it and he can go pick it up. I don't get those deliver people to do it. I tried to figure that out and couldn't. James is my man to go get it. And here it's been 21 minutes. I don't have any rats to kill, but I do have a church service I'm longing to watch. I want to see it. I want to see what's going on. And James is up there, and I can see when they gather, all of them gather around the altar. I can see him standing there. Fact is, the sun. You know how I got just a few more minutes, and I want to tell you what happened this morning as we was going through the Y. We saw this big bus parked in front of this Hour of Power church, which is right across the street from the Y. Now, when I was married to number 2 Floyd, they had church on Friday nights, and we would go down there. No, Saturday nights. Saturday night, it was someplace to go on Saturday, so we would go to church down there, and they would have good church and good people, and had a wonderful piano player. And they have got a big bus parked in front of their church right across from the Y this morning that I recognized that belonged to this gospel group called Bluegrass Sons of Liberty Gospel Group. They're on YouTube. And so we've heard them before, and they're real good. They really can sing. And they're going to be there tonight at 6 o'clock. So we're going to go see them at 6 o'clock. I hope I feel good enough to go. Sometimes I get kind of wore down by that time, but I'll get me a nap. We want to do that. That's Bluegrass Sons of Liberty. And if you're in the area, go visit them. But Floyd and I went there, and Floyd knew some of those people, and we got acquainted with them, and their piano player is still there because we went about a year ago, and I saw her there, so I stopped and talked to her, and she has an interesting story. Her and her husband had been married 10 years, and she confided to me that they had been trying and trying to have a baby, and she said, and now we're praying, and we just joined her. Lord, give them a child, because I couldn't have kids, and God gave me twins the first time. So guess what? After they'd been married 10 years, yep, she got a son. So I asked her, I said, hey, a little boy. I said, how is he doing? When I saw her a year ago, because he'd be about 20 some years old now. She said, both of them are doing fine. She got another one. So I thought that was exciting at the time, seeing what the Lord did for her. And she's still playing piano down there, and we'll probably see her tonight. So, because I still remember her, and she remembered me of course, I look a lot different. See, when I started wearing gray wigs, I was black-headed. And so when I met Floyd, I was still wearing black-headed wigs. And of course, that was 2004, I think I met him. Been a while. Been married to him, be 16 years in December. So we was at the Goodwill, me and him, because we was courting, and we would visit flea markets and Goodwills and stuff together, which was fun. And it was Halloween coming up, and I saw a wig in a rack yesterday when I went to Salvation Army. It was black, but there was this cute little gray wig in the stuff for Halloween. And he says, "Look at this. This would fit you." It was about like this, because I wore short hair. Didn't have much hair, but I wore black short wigs, not long ones. And so there is some pretty long wigs on Paula Young, but older women don't want to have long hair. That don't look real good. So he said, "This is a pretty color." So it ended up, I took it home. I looked at it. It was a name brand. It was not just a little old cheap wig that you get someplace, I don't know where. It was an expensive one. I washed it up, shook it out, dried it, and everything, shampooed it, put conditioner on it, and put it on. And James says, "You really look good in that." Well, honey, I started wearing that little gray wig, and I've been wearing gray wigs ever since, and I like them better. But I'm still, see my dark hair under there? I'm not shy. And you that watched it to the end saw that, didn't you? I'm not very shy, but I'm not taking it off because my head is no bigger than a peeled onion. I don't have a real big head. Sometimes I have the big head sometimes. When I get something done, I say, "Oh, goody, look what I did. I did that. I made this. I cooked that." I'm really proud of that. It turned out well when I'm a little Susie homemaker. And I've always been a homemaker wherever I moved. And when we moved to California, I would take that little apartments we lived in and I would make them as homey as I knew how. That's just my nature, and that's women's nature, honestly. And we all know it. There are only two sexes, male and female, according to God. And that's the way He made us. And I am a girl, and I enjoy being a woman, a mother, and a wife, and a sister, and a grandma. I never knew I would be a 92-year-old grandma, and that I could talk about the Lord anytime I want to hundreds, thousands of people. I did go on TikTok, and it's already got like I don't know how many hits. I mean, I hadn't been doing much TikTok. Let me show you. You know, you do it on your phone. You just hit TikTok. TikTok. Hey, did you guys ever sing this old hymn? Then you hit personal. And see there, I am everywhere. And there I was yesterday, and there I was when I was shouting people out. See? Hello there, you little TikTokers. This is Grandma Lois, 5161, and I just had to tell y'all something, and I never thought of it till now. I want you to check out, and you already, a lot of you are signing up for me on YouTube, and I have some good friends on YouTube. Kentucky Life with Debbie. She is a school teacher. She's really good. Check her out. And Senior Insights. Her name is Cynthia. Check her out. And then there's Granny Pot Chit Chat with Granny Pat. Check her out. Listen, I didn't think about telling y'all about the friends I have made on YouTube that are grandmas like me, and they're wonderful grandmas. Some of them, Mrs. Peach, Thrifty Living. She lives out in California. And let me see, all around grandma, she's a black grandma, and everybody loves her. And y'all love me. And you, I tell you what, I love you too. And God bless you for everything. See, that's what I put on TikTok. And it has got, let me see, it's got 551 people have looked at it. And I have other stuff there that's got thousands of them. It's amazing. And TikTok, there's this rooster hole. So, so that was fun. I've never done that before either. We're just doing things that are different. Use your imagination. Think of different things. I don't need AI, artificial intelligence. I got my own intelligence a little bit so far, and you do too. So we could just talk and enjoy life. And now I've went 29 minutes, and I got to catch my preacher. Talk to you later. Walk that path now where Jesus would be pleased with you. Bye-bye.